Hello, friends, and welcome to the True North Empowerment February 2025 Astrological Preview. My name is Jenny Sellers. I am the creator and founder of True North Empowerment, which is a holistic energy balancing company that I created here in Williamsburg, Virginia. So let's dive right in. There's so much fun stuff to talk about. We are in February, stepping into, well, I should say, we are in Aquarius season and preparing to step into Pisces season later in the month. However, this is a really interesting start to the month. On February 1st, we have what's known as a stellium in the sign of Pisces. And what a stellium is when some astrologers believe three. I like to believe that five planets in a given sign is what is known as a stellium. And it just means that it is a supercharged time for the sign that this is occurring in. And so we are in Aquarius season at the time of this stellium, but this month, this entire month, is going to feel like an added Pisces season, or at least a half a season, because through the 18th, which is when the sun actually does transit into Pisces, and it's normal for us to feel and to see things through the Pisces lens, we get the benefit of that throughout the entire month with this stellium in Pisces starting on February 1st. So there's this huge infusion of dreamy energy, of maybe not necessarily feeling super grounded. Pisces is the sign of the zodiac that encourages us to reconnect with the energy that exists outside of the physical. It encourages us to remember our connection with the non-physical. So there is a huge opportunity this month for you to feel connected to your loved ones in spirit, your team in spirit, as well as really being connected to your dreams. Be very vigilant of whatever dreams you're having and whichever ones you're remembering, because this is all Pisces energy. And with all of that, we can't just skip over Aquarius season. So, as a reminder, Aquarius season is the time of the year where we're encouraged to look at humanity as a whole, our role in that, social justice, social reform, our responsibility as neighbors and friends and family members to take care of one another. So, those themes will be very apparent throughout this time, as well as things like our attention to detail, the way we rely on technology, the quirky sides of ourselves. Those are all very Aquarian themes that will preside over this time. However, we do have this super huge infusion of Piscean energy here at the beginning of the month. So, with that, the North Node has just recently shifted, the North Node of the Moon, which is the mathematical point in the sky where eclipses happen. So the North Node of the Moon, which represents our drive and where we're headed in this life, what we're supposed to be here to craft during this lifetime, the North Node of the Moon has just shifted into Pisces. So that is one of the five planets or astrological figures that is in the sign of Pisces at this time. Venus, Neptune, Saturn, and the moon all kind of are sitting in Pisces at this time. So, with that, with the North Node, it often represents things that sit outside of our comfort zone. So, this time may feel a little bit challenged, just in the sense of not necessarily being really sure what you want to dream for. And whatever those dreams are kind of pushing you towards, it could feel a little outside of your comfort zone. So just be aware that you could be energetically kind of being stretched beyond that comfort zone at this time. No, nothing to worry about. It's just to be aware kind of gives us power over um, our own feelings of validity and validation in what we're experiencing, when it can be explained a little bit by the astrological significance. So, with all of that, that's how we start off the month. Um, Come the second through the fifth, there could be some tensions that arise either in the family or the home life, or new situations that we find ourselves in. Mars being retrograde in Cancer at this time. Cancer is the sign of the home, our foundations, our family lives, all of that. Is making a square to Chiron in Aries, which Chiron is the asteroid that where our biggest wounds and our most challenging patterns lie. So we've got this square kind of happening through the second and the fifth. But then on the fourth, we in the midst of that square, we do have Venus moving into Aries. So it's our first infusion of new year energy, new beginning energy. Just as a reminder, the astrological new year lags behind the calendar new year quite a bit. The astrological new year occurs on the spring equinox every year, so not until March 20th. And so if you have been like me and feeling like you've been kind of lagging behind a little bit and really tapping into that new year type energy, just know that Venus moving into Aries on February 4th is really kind of that first infusion energetically that we'll have into stepping into the new energy of 2025. Jupiter also turns direct on this date. It's been retrograde since October. So we that kind of really kind of pushes forward that new energy feeling as well. Jupiter is the largest solar planet in our solar system. And so anything that it does is felt pretty largely. So yeah, Jupiter turning direct is a direct infusion of that new kind of energy that we are talking about. Then as we get through the month, there are conjunctions being made, squares happening, lots of things kind of shining, especially around the ninth on the light on communication. So be aware of your communication patterns and tendencies at this time, and really allowing the sun kind of shining right on that space of communication and choices, really kind of shining forward on our home and family lives, what we want to see, how we want to see things shift and change there. So on the ninth, specifically for that. On the 11th, the sun in Aquarius makes a direct square to Uranus in Taurus. And so all that is just saying, where are you going versus where you've come from? Where is the tension point there for you? How can you show up for others as it pertains to the resources that you receive? That's Uranus and Taurus for you, and the sun kind of being in Aquarius, forming that square. How do you want to move forward as it pertains to your resources and your resource getting, and how it's really kind of affecting your home life? And how can you show up more for your family members and your close-knit family communities, your friendships even? On the 12th, we have the full moon in Leo. So that encourages us to shine the light on our inner creativity, our inner passions, our inner pursuits, our inner child. How can we allow for more space for our inner child to come forward? What do we need to let go of to soothe the inner child? What do we need to release to allow ourselves the opportunity to dive more fully into our passions and our creativity? How do we want to shine our light brighter? Is the perfect question to ask as the moon shines bright for us in the sky on the 12th. On the 14th, Mercury goes into Pisces. So, again, another little infusion of Pisces energy. It will only be there for 17 days, though. So, as we're looking at choices and communication, specifically as it pertains to our loved ones in spirit on the 14th, just be on the lookout. And also, what choices do we want to make to allow ourselves to feel those connections to everything outside of the physical? Do we need to spend more time maybe in practice? So whether that's your faith and spirituality practices, whether that's maybe yoga, maybe that's meditation, whatever it is that you can do to kind of come back to center and really kind of allow that communication. Maybe it's even, this is just coming through to me right now. Maybe it's even making things quiet in the physical so that you can hear more clearly your inner voice and as it guides you. So be aware of that mid-month. Then on the 18th, we have a second stellium happening. At this point, Venus has moved out of Pisces, but the sun is moving in. And so this is a really powerful moment in the month. So just highlight the 18th, and it's because the sun is entering Pisces. We are spending the next month looking at wrapping up our time with this revolution around the sun. Astrologically speaking, Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. So with the sun now entering Pisces, joining these four other planets or mathematical points in the sky, these four other astrological figures. The 18th is this beautiful time for Pisces energy to shine through. Pisces, beware, not in a bad way, just be aware that this is going to feel like a very deep descent, but also an ascent. So a deep dive and then a deep um, path forward for you and everything that you hold innately inside of you. This is a beautiful time for Pisces energy. It really is. We get a double dose of Pisces this year, and there's nothing more beautiful than that, I think. Um, then let's see, what else do we have? So we've got Mars turning direct at the end of the month, too. So on the 23rd, Mars is changing positions just the same way Jupiter did. Mars and Jupiter have both been in retrograde over the last, well, Jupiter went in October, Mars went into retrograde in December. But having both of these really power planets move out of retrograde and into, sorry, as Mars turns direct, having these two planets move forward, it will provide a huge infusion of looking ahead to the next 12 months of the zodiac. So um, Mars has been retrograde since December. So that is turning direct. We have a conjunction between Mercury and Saturn in Pisces on the 25th. This is just another huge moment for us to be able to really step into our communication abilities with the energy that exists outside of the physical. And what do we want to do? How can we build around ourselves more opportunities to really just get in tune with the quiet of the self? That's all that intuition is. Well, intuition is a lot of things, but one of its main factors is our ability to connect outside of ourselves with the energy that exists around us so that we can hear and we can listen more fully to the inner self. So, super cool moment for that on the 25th. On the 27th, the new moon moves into Pisces, bringing six planets into Pisces. You guys, I cannot stress this enough. This is Pisces season on steroids. Own it, step into it. It might feel a little uncomfortable because we're so used to being grounded here in the physical. Pisces is all about drawing ourselves out of the physical and into the universal, into the cosmos, into the spirit world, all of that. So just know that if you're not often comfortable there, you might feel a little uncomfortable throughout this time, throughout this whole month, but it's all leading you into a better and deeper connection with yourself and with what is all around you spiritually. And that's a beautiful thing. So that is our February month at a glance. I hope you um, just feel so wrapped in love from the universe and from spirit that it is an easy feeling for you because there's a lot of beauty that exists here for us. We just have to allow ourselves to let down the wall. So that is my wish for you and my intention for you throughout the month of February, and we will see you next month. Have a good one.